Whoa. Can you believe it? Samsung has done it again, dropping a mid-range beast that feels like a flagship in disguise. The Samsung Galaxy A56 is here, and let me tell you, this phone is out to shake things up in ways we never saw coming. With its stunning design, powerhouse performance, and insane battery life, it's making people wonder why even spend more on a premium model? If you're thinking about upgrading your phone, stop. Right there. This might just be the one you've been waiting for. But before you pull the trigger, let's dive deep into everything that makes the Galaxy A56 a potential game changer, and yeah, we'll talk about the not so great parts too. Because hey, nothing's perfect, right? Or is it? Attention getter. Alright, let's start with that gorgeous design because first impressions matter, don't they? Samsung has seriously stepped up their game, giving the A56 a premium glass and aluminum finish that feels oh so satisfying in your hands. No cheap plastic nonsense here. The way it catches the light, the smooth curves, the barely there bezels, it's a beauty. And can we talk about colors? That awesome graphite shade? Sleek. The awesome pink? Stunning. Samsung isn't just throwing fancy names around, these colors actually pop in real life. And don't even get me started on the durability Gorilla Glass Vitus Plus on both sides. You won't be babying this phone, that's for sure. But hey, let's not just stare at it, let's see what it can do. Logical orientation. Now, let's talk display. Oh my god. This thing is ridiculously good. Samsung took the already awesome AMOLED panel from last year and somehow made it even better. A 6.7-inch FHD Plus Super AMOLED screen with 120Hz refresh rate? Scrolling feels smoother than butter melting on a hot pan. And the colors? They pop. Vibrant, deep blacks, and HDR10 Plus support make sure your Netflix binge watching sessions feel like a mini IMAX experience. And wait for it. 1900 nits peak brightness. No more squinting under the sun just to read a text message. Whether you're gaming, watching YouTube, or just scrolling through socials, this display will make you fall in love with your screen all over again. Psychological orientation. But hold on, what's powering this beauty? The Exynos 1580 chipset, that's what. And don't roll your eyes at Exynos just yet. This time, Samsung came prepared. The 8GB or 12GB RAM options mean no more lag even when multitasking like a madman. Want to game on high settings? Go for it. Want to switch between a million apps without a hitch? No problem. Plus, Samsung has added a vapor chamber cooling system so you won't be turning your phone into a pocket heater during intense gaming sessions. It's fast, smooth, and reliable. Finally, Samsung is proving that mid-range doesn't mean mid-performance. References. And if you don't believe me, just look at the benchmarks. The A56 scores surprisingly close to last year's flagship models, putting it way ahead of its competition in the mid-range segment. Geekbench numbers? Through the roof. Real-world performance? Just as impressive. And battery life? A monstrous 5,000 mAh battery keeps this thing going all day and then some. Heavy user? You're still getting a full day. Casual user? 2 days easy. And 45W fast charging means you can go from 0 to 100% in under an hour, no more waiting forever just to get back in the game. Real life usage. Now, let's talk cameras, because what's a phone without an awesome camera setup? The 50MP main sensor with OIS takes stunning shots in every condition. Daytime, low light, indoor, outdoor, it just works. The 12MP ultra-wide captures so much detail it's almost unfair. And that 5MP macro lens. Perfect for those super close-up shots that make everyday objects look insane. Selfies. Samsung didn't forget about you. A 12MP front camera that captures all the details, with AI enhancements that keep things looking natural, not fake. And let's not forget 4K video recording with super steady mode. Vloggers, social media lovers, content creators, you'll love this. User experience. One UI 7 on top of Android 15 is a dream. Samsung's software has come a long way, and now it's smooth, customizable, and loaded with useful features. The animations feel snappy, the new AI-driven suggestions actually make sense, and the customization options, next level. Plus, Samsung has promised 6 years of updates, so this phone won't feel outdated anytime soon. No more worrying about security updates stopping after just 2 years. This phone is built for the long haul. Flaws and downsides. Okay, no phone is perfect, and the A56 does have a few drawbacks. First up, no micro SD card slot. What? Why, Samsung? You get 128GB or 256GB of storage, but if you need more, you're stuck with cloud storage. Then there's the lack of a headphone jack. Yep, it's gone. Wireless buds are great, but sometimes you just want to plug in without worrying about battery life. And while we're at it, why not give us wireless charging, Samsung? Final thoughts? But even with these minor gripes, the Samsung Galaxy A56 is easily one of the best mid-range smartphones of 2025. It's fast, it's beautiful, it's powerful, and it lasts forever on a charge. Whether you're upgrading from an older A series or even considering downgrading from a flagship, this phone will blow you away. Samsung is proving that you don't have to spend a fortune to get an incredible smartphone. So, after everything we covered in part 1, you're probably thinking, okay, this phone sounds amazing, but is it really that good? And you know what? That's fair. Hype can be misleading. But let me tell you, I've spent days testing this phone, gaming, streaming, snapping photos, pushing it to its limits, and guess what? The Galaxy A56 still impresses me. But before you rush to buy it, there are some deeper details you need to know, things that real-world users are noticing, some unexpected surprises, and yes, a few flaws that could be deal breakers for some people. So, let's get into the next round of testing, and I promise, by the end of this, you'll know exactly whether this phone is the right one for you. Alright, let's talk gaming. Because what's the point of a high refresh rate AMOLED screen and a powerful chip if it can't handle some serious gaming, right? So, I put it to the test: Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Asphalt 9, PUBG New State, you name it. And let me tell you, this thing is a beast. The Exynos 1580 is optimized better than expected, keeping frame rate stable even in intense battles. High settings. No problem. 60 FPS gameplay? Check. Lag. Almost non-existent. And thanks to the new vapor chamber cooling system, I gamed for over an hour, and guess what? Barely any heat. Samsung really figured out how to keep the temps low without throttling performance. If you love gaming, this phone won't let you down. Now, let's talk about the AI features, because this phone is smarter than you think. Samsung's AI-powered enhancements are all over the place, from the camera to the battery and even performance tuning. The adaptive battery AI learns your habits, automatically optimizing background processes to squeeze out even more battery life. So, by week 2 of using the phone, I was getting a full 1.5 days on a single charge. The AI Performance Booster dynamically adjusts CPU and RAM usage based on what you're doing, so apps load faster, and there's less lag over time. Oh, and notifications. It even learns which ones are important to you and automatically prioritizes them. It's the small things like this that make the A56 feel way more advanced than your typical mid-range phone. But let's be real, a great phone isn't great without a killer camera. And oh boy, this one delivers. That 50MP main sensor with OIS, optical image stabilization, is an absolute monster. Sharp, detailed, color accurate, just wow. Whether you're taking shots during golden hour or snapping pics in low light conditions, the AI-powered night mode enhances details without making it look fake like some other brands do. The 12MP ultra-wide. Perfect for landscapes, group shots, or just capturing the world in a bigger way. And that 5MP macro lens. Sure, it's not the most useful thing in daily life, but when you do use it, the results are insanely sharp. Oh, and selfies? The 12MP front camera is fantastic, crisp, balanced, and with Samsung's best skin tone processing yet. This is the mid-range camera to beat in 2025. Now, let's put things into perspective. How does the A56 stack up against competitors like the Pixel 7a, iPhone SE, 2025, and OnePlus Nord 5? Well, in raw performance, it smokes the iPhone SE, thanks to a bigger battery, higher refresh rate, and more RAM. The Pixel 7a wins in software updates, but the A56 still holds its own with 6 years of promised updates. The OnePlus Nord 5 might be slightly faster in benchmarks, but Samsung's overall polish, display quality, and software experience feel way more premium. At the end of the day, this phone isn't just good for the price, it's one of the best phones you can get, period. Speaking of software, One UI 7 Plus Android 15 on this phone is so smooth it almost feels like a flagship experience. The animations are fluid, the UI is intuitive, and the level of customization is unreal. And let's not forget Samsung is promising 6 years of software updates. That's longer than what some flagships get. So, if you're buying the A56, you're not just buying a phone for 2025, you're getting a phone that'll still be relevant in 2031. And let's revisit battery life because I did a real life test. Streaming Netflix? 12 hours straight, no problem. Gaming for 3 hours? Still had 50% left. Social media browsing, YouTube, calls, and messages? Easy 2-day battery life for light users. And when you do need to charge, that 45W fast charging is a lifesaver. 0 to 50% in under 25 minutes, full charge in about 55 minutes. Seriously, this battery won't quit on you. But let's keep it real. No phone is perfect, and the A56 does have its flaws. No micro SD card slot. That sucks for people who store a ton of offline files. No headphone jack. Yeah, we're still mad about that, Samsung. No wireless charging? Not a deal breaker, but still, it would have been nice. And while the Exynos 1580 is great, it's not quite as power efficient as some Snapdragon chips, meaning that if you're a super heavy gamer, you might notice a bit more heat after extended sessions. Are these deal breakers? For most people, probably not. But for some, they might be. Alright, so here's the million-dollar question: should you buy the Samsung Galaxy A56? And the answer is yes, absolutely, if it fits your needs. If you want a premium design, an incredible display, excellent battery life, powerful performance, and a flagship-level camera experience all for a mid-range price, then this phone is a no-brainer. But if you absolutely need a headphone jack, expandable storage, or wireless charging, you might have to look elsewhere.